Let's turn now to the escalating tensions in the Middle East. Israel's defense minister saying today his nation has no choice but to retaliate after this weekend's drone and missile attacks by Iran. Our next guest predicts Israel will respond, but with missiles only aimed at Iranian military infrastructure. Here now is Brookings Institution senior fellow Michael O'Hanlon. Michael, great to have you with us.
Thank you. Nice to be with you, although it's always dangerous to make predictions. So I'll try to soften that. I'll try to soften that specific one. Yes.
But in terms of Israel striking back at this point, will that end it, or will this just be a continuous sort of tit for tat at this point?
Yeah, that's the question. I think that the reason why I think Israel will do something specific, prompt, but also limited, is that I think Israel feels it has to now reciprocate because Iran has attacked Israel's own soil from Iranian soil for the first time. And Israel doesn't like to be on the soft or short end of that kind of a stick. It believes strongly in the concept of reestablishing deterrence, meaning showing you're the tough guy and intimidating people into hopefully not attacking you again. Now, that logic would suggest that Israel might actually escalate dramatically like they did in Gaza. But I think it's more likely in this case, having intercepted and have the U.S. and other help in intercepting the Iranian attack, they'll feel it's adequate to do something that is firm, but also de-escalatory, and hope that therefore Iran will not itself feel the need to then go one more time afterwards. So that's my prediction that, probably missiles because there's no manned aircraft involved, no potential for shoot down, probably fixed infrastructure that missiles are good at hitting, and probably relatively isolated infrastructure to minimize fatalities, maybe at night, and probably nothing too major, probably not the nuclear installations, for example, or any major ports or airfields. But we'll see.
Let's say a strike back by Israel concludes this particular chapter of the conflict, Michael. What have we learned, though? I mean, we've learned that Iran has missiles that can reach Israel at this point. So in terms of what we called crossing the Rubicon earlier, the first attack by Iran directly on Israel, what does this sort of open the door to in the future in your mind?
Well, I think in technological terms, if I could take that angle, the simplest thing it proves is that medium-range air and missile defense is quite good today. And the United States and Israel and others have really perfected it, or at least dramatically improved a lot of the technology. However, long-range missile defense is still hard. That's not particularly relevant here, but it could be if China or North Korea attacked us. And short-range defense against saturation attacks with just huge numbers of drones or short-range missiles or artillery is also very hard. And really, therefore, the Lebanon-Hezbollah threat to Israel remains very potent. So there's nothing that anybody should be doing now about rejoicing that somehow defense has established dominance comprehensively. I don't think that's the case. I think Israel knows better than to think that it's somehow now impervious to Hezbollah attack from Lebanon. There are so many short-range threats that remain because they can get through just by sheer force of numbers, if nothing else.
Hey, Michael, it's Tim. Thanks for joining us. You could make an argument that Vladimir Putin is looking all this with a big smile on his face. And I guess my question to you is not predictions on the rest of the world, but also the impact of what's going on in the Middle East and how that's skewing political policy, political response, budgeting, financing, different parts of the world. But again, where this can spread or impacts to other parts of the world that we are also very concerned about right now.
Yeah, it's a good question, Tim. There's a lot of ways this could play, but you may be right that Putin's smiling for various reasons. I could also see a case, however, that this may be what is needed to shake Congress up into action on both Ukraine and Israel aid, because Israel's now going to have fewer air defense capabilities still in its toolkit or in its quiver, having used up a fair number. I guess they got a lot of help from us, so maybe they didn't use quite as many anti-ballistic missile interceptors as they might have, but that's still a pretty scarce resource. Iran used more than 100 ballistic missiles. So the Arrow 3 interceptor, the various interceptors that we used against that kind of capability, those are easily exhausted. And so there is a case here that now Congress really should act more quickly on Israel. And maybe if it does so, it will also focus on Taiwan and Ukraine as it should. But, hoping for good behavior by Congress is obviously not always the best bet.